Top Radio 90.9.
We are back. This is Vintage Talk Show. I have my guests very close by, and joining us as a formidable argumentator, so to speak. I haven't seen him speak, but I've read a lot of his writings, and this man can be. You get to see. Welcome to the studio, Victor Ganzallo. I will do proper introductions later, but just to welcome you.
Okay. Good morning, listeners. Good morning, Nigeria.
Thank you. Now, just before we move on to our next main topic, I want to talk about the next segment. There's a short one. We call it The Greats. That's why I love Judith that's here. That was a music historian. He's a researcher, writer, journalist, entrepreneur. He has a program. He has a podcast. Very interesting. It's about Fuji. It's just about Fuji. The Chronicles of Fuji. He's a young man. You would think he's an old school person, but he loves traditional music. And we want to talk about great Nigerian artists that have passed or that have stepped a little down the limelight. And one of that we are doing today. She died June 2011, and she would have been 62 last week. A phenomenal singer. We used to call her Lady of Songs. You will know when I play this. What a way to shake the bones this early morning. I'm sure you are dancing and prancing at home to Christy, S-N, Igbokwe, M-O-N. We will come back to that. We're talking about the greats. what they call GOAT in football parlance, greatest of our time. We'll come back to that when we discuss the greats, people like Mrs. Igbokwe. But now, we want to talk about a very terrible situation that we are going through in our society. The issue and the problem of drug use, drug trade, and the prevalence of it amongst our youth. I have great people talking about it here. One of our, I pray that will be regular discussant, is Victor Ganzallo, is the CEO of Mumok Sports. He says he's a sports enthusiast, yet he makes his load of money from sports merchandising. He's also a journalist, and he's been around. He's a great commentator. Victor, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And of course, we have Folari Ademosu, our in-house analyst. He's also joining us. Welcome again, Folari.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Fad. Thank you, sir.
Okay, all the way from Abuja, joining us on this topic is actually, we call it NDLEA, and the heavy seizure of drugs. Are Nigerians so crazy about drugs? Joining us is the Director of Media and Advocacy, Mr. Femi Babafemi of NDLEA. Good morning, Femi.
Good morning, Mr. Fal. Thank you for having me on your show this morning.
Thank you. We are glad you are always on time. That's the spirit of the moment. We'll come back shortly. I want you to listen to this song. It took us, Jetty and I, it took us a long time to get a song that speaks against drugs. Most of the songs are for drugs. The crazy country. Listen to this.
Rose, Hennessy, me I know they see my enemies. Rose, I spread the man. Sammy Gang, one chan guy, like this can guy. I do what if carry me go. Whiskey, carry me go. Whiskey, carry me go. Whiskey, carry me go. Okay. Story. We got to give God glory. We got to live life story. Follow no to bring life back. You hear me say, hey, story. We got to give God glory. We got to live life story. Follow no to bring life back. You help me say. 2004 Bolaji was the main guy. My nigga know they ever come out with the same tie. Flying nigga cool cats where they make friends. The Bolaji know they club, the party know they make sense. In 2005 Bolaji done they finish school. The graduation party bad, I'm all pretty cool. See the girl them a dress like Beyonce. Bolaji na your party, you me say you belong shit. In 2008 Bolaji done they come lag. You done they roll among the niggas where they form swag. You done they chill among the niggas where they pop pass. Last thing we I hear was we was buried in the contract. Whiskey, carry me go. Whiskey, carry me go. Whiskey, carry me go. Whiskey, carry me go. Okay. Story. We got to give God glory. We got to live life story. Follow no to bring life back. You know you say, hey. call Elizabeth. She been a John and me, I never get my visa yet. I've been to see him like the apple on my eye. Any nigga come around and we go battle till we die. Yes, now my Lizzie, your mom, she where they come first. And I'm attracted to the booty in the long dress. She if like at work, when she go the plaza, Lizzie go the waka like saying her papa get the complex. He never tell me Lizzie trouble go America. And then I realized America was very...
That was Whiskey that's Ice Prince featuring Sonny Neji, talking about the ailment and the danger of whiskey, drinks, drugs, and all that. Thank you so much. We are back. This is Counterpoint, where we talk and argue it out. Issues. The major guy we'll be dealing with is the NDLEA chief, Femi Babafemi. Thank you for coming on and joining us again. Let's go straight into the points. I don't know what magic you guys are doing. I don't know how. Maybe since Brigadier General Boba Mawa came into NDLEA, that's Nigerian, that's National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency. It's like every week they are always seizing something. Wow, I mean, we had NDLEA for like 2 or 3 decades, and suddenly every week you hear in Apapa 6 billion, in Ikorodu 194 billion, in all sorts of places seizure. In Akwa Ibom actually is 2 billion. In a warehouse in Ikorodu, tons of, I can't even, how do you calculate that? 1.8 tons, that's 1,855 kilograms of illicit drug, cocaine. Is it, as they say on the street, not be juju be that. How do you people get all these seizures so suddenly everywhere? You are just, is it really, are you really seizing people things and capturing things, or is media noise? I don't get it.
Thank you, Mr. Faj. I do appreciate once again the fact that you are using this platform to discuss the problem of substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking in the country. There is no denying the fact that this is a huge and major problem that we all have to face, deploying a whole society approach. And we're glad you are joining the conversation as in being part of the advocacy against this scourge. Now, having said that, I think with the coming of General Marwa to the agency, taking the leadership of the agency on January 18, 2021, that really changed a lot of things, that I can tell you. And those of you and those of us who actually know, and those who actually know the antecedents of the man we're talking about, we do know, we do understand that indeed is someone that will always like to leave legacies wherever he goes, and he's someone that is so passionate about whatever assignment he
Okay, thank you.
Governor in Borno State military.
Oh, that was a cut-off.
Can you?
Go ahead,
can you hear me?
Go ahead, yes.
Okay, so that basically impacted on the agency itself. But coming to how are we able, or how have we been able to make all of these sections, I'll tell you these are all products of intelligence, as well as the use of technology by officers and men who have who have bought into the vision of the new leadership of the agency, and because he's also prioritized their welfare, their well-being, so they just also keyed into his own drive to ensure that we all work together to get rid of this menace. And that's why you see virtually every day what we do release probably accounts for less than 10% of actually all the seizures we have across the country, because if we have to be releasing it every day, there is hardly no day that goes by without major seizures across the country. We are talking of more than 150 formations of the agency. So if we have to be releasing that every day, we'll probably get the public board. So that's why we do once a week or thereabout, just put some significant ones together that would just something that would teach the public some lessons that would also send the right message to those the cartels behind all of these criminal activities. So that's why we just pick a few of these arrests and seizures across the country. And if you look back at in the last 22 months since Marwa got into the leadership of the agency, you are talking of seizures of 5.4 million kilograms of assorted illicit drugs. That is huge. That is unprecedented. And what this has done for us is cutting down drastically on the supply of this. We know that may not have taken out all that we have on our streets, in our communities, but then that's a significant number of seizures taken out of our streets, because for us, every gram of illicit drugs seized is a gram less what is available on the street. And that's why, from our own assessment, from our own research and findings across the country, we're seeing rise in the prices and the cost of these substances, because we're trying to make sure that they are not available there, and the few the quantities that are available are getting out of the reach of those who consume these things. And that's why you will see a new trend developing. That is what you call the new psychoactive substances. If they can't get to use those high-end substances, then they try to do some mixtures. That is trying to mix cannabis with
concoction.
What we call the black currant, yes, black currant, sopo, and some other things locally to get the high feeling. So, and all of that, we're also contending with them to ensure that we salvage the situation.
Okay, thank you, Femi. If we leave Femi, we'll turn this into an advocacy program. Victor, let's tackle the NDLEA man fairly, so to speak. He's also a journalist. He was formerly editor of Sunday, I believe. What's your own perspective? Are we that crazy about? Are we so sold into drugs?
Good morning, Frank. Good morning, Mr. Babafemi.
Thank you, my brother.
My position is yes, it's good that we're recording these seizures and this progress the NDLEA is making. But I also think it speaks to complicity on their part. It goes to an extent, an indictment on their part. Does it mean that there are people in the NDLEA were aware of these things before Marwa got there? So what were they doing? Are we saying that immediately Marwa got into the saddle, he made a reshufflement of all their formation across the country, such that? So it goes to say that these things were in the system. They were aware of it. Mr. Babafemi is talking about welfare of staff and the rest of them. So are we saying that because they were not well paid or well remunerated before now, they knew about the presence of these drugs in these locations and did not go after them before now? Because, sir, if we're beginning to look at it holistically, it goes beyond people just taking drugs and getting high and damaging their life. And drugs is interwoven with a lot of other things. Crime. Drug has a very strong connection to even banditry, to insurgency. If you look at it, it's run an entire gamut that its multiplier effect on the society is a lot. So we're asking, an average Nigerian will ask, yes, you see 12 billion here, you see 13 billion there, you see 14 billion there. NDLEA has been in existence since when? Since the military era. And Amara got into the saddle January last year, 2021, and all of a sudden, we are recording massive seizure, massive operation, and the rest of them. It goes to people asking questions. What were you guys doing before now?
Femi, over to you.
Yes, I'm glad he asked that question, and let me respond this way. Let me paint a picture of what the situation in the agency was before General Marwa came in January 2021. This was an agency where, fighting illicit drug trafficking and related crimes. It's not something that comes easy. It's a very deadly and dangerous terrain. And in quite a lot of cases, some of the officers and men have been killed in the course of their duties. And to make matters worse, when these people were killed, it's the officers and men that would contribute money for the burial, not even any cover coming from the agency or from the government as it were. That's terrible. Now, given that situation, I'll tell you, even on in that kind of a place, you wouldn't want to take risk. You wouldn't want to put your life, because you have families back home who will be left unattended to nothing comes to them. And now I come to when General Mawa resumed in January 2021. One of the first things he did was to go out of his way to ensure that all that have been owed burial expenses, about 188 families were outstanding who had been owed burial expenses, monies for burial expenses, or what have you. That was the first thing he settled early in his tenure, in 2021. That created some sense of, now we have somebody who cares, somebody who can take care of our family, somebody who can look after our families when even we're gone, in the case that we're killed in the course of our work. Now, going beyond that again, these were men, officers and men that have been on one rank, some for as long as 15, 20 years, no promotion. That's what caused stagnation. And that's one of the things he did again, because for him, he believes if he has to drive these people to do this work, he also needs to motivate them. He needs to ensure that they are well encouraged to be able to take the risk that they need to take to go into the forest to engage with these cartels. And one of the things he did was to ensure that, over 70% of the entire workforce was promoted at once, at a go. That is 3,506 people, officers and men, were promoted. Their ranks harmonized. This is, for us, a major motivation for these officers and men. So it's all about getting people motivated to do what they need to do. But if we have to go back to what used to be, it's a situation where nobody wants to take the risk. And again, looking at the present scenario where he's also moving fast to ensure that these people get barracks where they can go, keep their families, go back to live after daily operations. That's another thing that's going a long way to also motivate, because you look at a situation where if people, these officers and men, go out to run after the barons, to run after the traffickers, to run after the bulls on the streets, and at the end of the day, they go back into the same community to sleep, to live with these same people. That is quite dangerous, and that's why I also believe Jeremiah identified the issue of getting these people into a safe location. If at the end of the day they go back, they come back from operations, they can have a place to rest, their heads secure with their family. All of these are some of the dynamics that have actually changed. These are the things that were not in place prior to now, that have been put in place to encourage these people to want to put their lives on the line for the good of the country.
Thank you, Femi. We'll take a short break. We don't sell drugs, we sell airtime. We'll take a short break and come back. Thank you.
Taking you to the top to stay. Top Radio 90.9.
Listen carefully, fellow Nigerians. Buying or selling COVID-19 certificate is a crime. It undermines the process of safeguarding Nigeria against COVID-19, bringing our country to disrepute in the international community. Our healthcare and vaccine structure will therefore not be trusted, making it harder for honest Nigerians to travel abroad. Anyone asking you to pay for COVID-19 certificate is a fraud. Report such a person to the nearest law enforcement agency. COVID-19 certificate is free, but can only be issued to you when you have taken your vaccine. Let us all join the fight to make Nigeria totally free of COVID-19. Be responsible and accountable. Do not pay for vaccine certificate. This message is brought to you by the Center for Democracy and Development with support from the Innovation for Change.
He is refreshed. He is rebranded. He was formerly called Jim Boy. Now, Jim Baba. Lagos, are you ready for the biggest comedy experience? It's Jim Baba Live in Comedy Concert, The Rebirth. Also featuring Kofida Guru, Ajebo Akbarero, Kenny Block, Damola, MC Passion, Dr. Smile, Pastor Remote, Rina, and many more. Happening live at the prestigious Terra Culture, Victoria Island, Lagos. Date, Sunday, November 27th, 2022. Red carpet 5 p.m. and main show 6 p.m. Tickets 5K regular, 20K VIP, table of 6, 500K. Tickets are available at all events.ng. For more inquiries, call 0805-661-3361. This event is proudly supported by Danon Fan Vanille,
Action Bitters,
Dubai Africa, and Lagos State Government.
Media Partner, Top Radio 90.9.
This event is packaged by Gene.com Entertainment.
Taking you to the top to stay. Top Radio 90.9.
We are back on drugs. No, we're not taking it. We are talking about it. The media chief, director of media and advocacy, Femi Babafemi, is still with us, and so also Victor Ganzallo. We are talking this heavy seizure of drugs. Does it mean we are so hopelessly addicted to drugs? We would like you to join us online and ask Mr. Babafemi or join the discussion with Victor here. The number to call is 080-967-02550. The number is 080-967-02550. And the WhatsApp number or SMS line is 081-071-37559. I repeat, 081-071-37559. We are still talking colors. Just focus on the question or the question you want to ask Mr. Babafemi or any of us in the studio. Let's talk about these drugs. Are we that sold into this illicit problem? I would like to talk I would like to ask Babafemi before we wrap up. You know, as they say in Nigerian parlance, where person they chop, where person they work, now they chop. Have you seen occasions where some of your men chop these drugs, either by using it or by selling it, and what have you? Have you caught some people doing that?
That's almost a capital offense. It's not something. Yeah, that I've not said it is, but it's almost a capital. In essence, it's probably one of the biggest offenses to commit. It's nobody would dare. I'm not saying for any human organization you will always have some bad eggs here and there, but then they are promptly dealt with. There are quite a lot of mechanisms in place, but then for us, in the agency, when substances are seized, the mechanisms in place to protect and ensure that nothing happens to them, all of those things are in place. But as to what some of these people do outside, that's what I'm saying, that you cannot guarantee vouch for everybody. That is not to say that this, I mean, we have people who are also on drugs or whatever, but then you cannot, I mean, vouch for everybody. Having said that, I know that periodically in the agency, like the leadership of the agency at the moment is advocating for drug tests for everybody across the society. So the agency itself also goes through this,
including our politicians.
Yeah, that absolutely. We're advocating a whole society thing for everybody, starting from students, those who are going to school when they are returning from vacation, those who want to get married, those who want to get employed, those who are seeking for public office, starting from the local government level to the presidency. Everybody across the ladder, everybody we're advocating, and so the agency itself also takes its staff, officers and men, through the same process periodically. You nobody gives you the notice. You come in and the gates are locked and you are made to undergo drug tests. This is not punity. This is just one to serve as deterrent, and two, to also ensure that for those who may be abusing these substances, they are also made to get help, because those abusing illicit substances, we see them as, some of them, let's not say everybody, because for some elements that are criminal minded, they take it because they want to go for some criminal activities. They want to have some feelings that will make them superior to other people on the roads or in their homes. So we're not talking of those ones. Those ones are treated as criminals. But for those who, as a result of quite a lot of predisposing factors beyond their control, like you said when you started this conversation about you finding it difficult to get even music songs that preach against drug abuse. So that is part of the societal problems when you have artists, celebrities glamorizing and promoting the drug culture, that is drug abuse culture. All of this, we know that quite a lot of young people who see them as role models fall victims of these things. And when they fall victims, a lot of them become afflicted. So we see at that point, we see this as an ailment that needs to be treated, just like you treat your malaria fever, like your hypertension or diabetes. So we try to bring this test, when it's conducted on them, we try to bring them help quickly, and that's one of the reasons why we set up a call center where people can dial a toll-free line to get help wherever they are in any part of the country. So
Femi, that's a natural pause dictated by technology. Femi, I'll get back to you.
That's why we're pushing this.
Yeah, Femi, I'll get back to you. You have to wrap up. Victor, any follow-up?
Yes, sir. What I would like to say is, the NDLEA is doing a lot more. We all know how influential and impactful the entertainment industry is. I think the agency can do a lot by collaborating with the entertainment industry, especially the music industry, because if you really want to take a very deep look at it, you see, like you mentioned, that quite a number of our music artists, especially the celebrated ones, kind of glamorize the use of illicit drugs in their musical videos, in their lifestyle and all that. And I think that the agency can do a lot in collaboration with whatever agency is in charge of regulating, especially musical videos. You watch their music, because you can't ask an artist that has his creative license not to sing a particular song about I want smoke Igbo and the rest of it. That might be a bit difficult to regulate. Then you're not going to monitor him in the studio, and then if the song is going on here, you can, the broadcast organization like
ban it.
Can ban it, but you can't ban the sales. You can't ban the streaming, but you can actually correct or put some lane on the musical videos, because the musical videos has more effects, because something you're seeing, it's on DSTV, it's on the rest of them, sorry to mention the name, it's on television stations and the rest of them. So if the agency can work with whatever organizations regulating the production or the broadcasting of musical video to go a long way, because you watch it every time and you see it. You see some of the kids they use in the videos that don't even look underage. So these are some of the areas where the agency can also do a lot, because the impact and influence of the entertainment industry is huge.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Victor. Babafemi, your last word.
Yeah, I just want to encourage all of us, whoever we are, whether as media practitioners, as parents, as teachers, whoever, clergy people, whoever we are, we all have a role to play in this, because if you think this has not gotten to you or to your family, you never can tell what would happen tomorrow. Even apart from you being afflicted by this ailment, you could be a victim of someone afflicted. The drunk driver on the road. We just had a story that broke out 2 days ago on this. A drunk driver on the road is not in charge. He's not in control of his senses. All of this we need to take up, get involved, buy into the war against drug abuse, and take ownership of it. Let's not deflect responsibilities. We all have a role to play. We all have our own sphere of influence, like we are doing on Top FM this morning. We are trying to use the platform to educate the public. So we all have a role to corner. We have to talk to somebody about the dangers of abusing illicit substances, so that other person will talk to another person, and that way we share the facts about this, spread the information, so that we can save as many lives as possible.
Thank you, Babafemi. Victor, you have the last word?
Yes. Someone just sent me a message now. The person is asking that I should ask Mr. Babafemi if there's a monetary reward for individual out there who goes to give the agency a leak or info about a particular consignment of drug or whatever.
That will lead to a seizure.
Yes.
Okay, Babafemi, did you hear that?
Absolutely. We do have a system, a mechanism that rewards. That's why I said that our operations are intelligence-led. We don't just, all of the things we do, we're not spirits or ghosts that are in people's homes or in their minds. All of these are as a result of cooperation and support from members of the public, our international partners. So indeed, there is a reward system. And on our Twitter space yesterday, we had the honorable member of the House of Representatives, who is the chairman of the House Committee on Drugs and Narcotics. Indeed, he also spoke about...
Oh, we lost the link. We lost the link there. Sorry, Babafemi. If you can get back to us before the program ends, we would like to have your final advocacy points. My oh my.